W.F. Howells presents an unabridged recording of The Rise of the Lionesses, Incredible Moments from Women's Football, by Flo Lloyd-Hughes, narrated by the author. Introducing women's football. My name is Flo, and I'm a football journalist. That means I get to watch football games all over the country and then write and talk about them afterwards. I love football, and I'm especially passionate about the women's game. I played loads when I was younger, and still sometimes as an adult, and I've seen the women's game change in front of my eyes. When I was growing up, I was one of the few girls in my school who played, but now girls fill up pitches all over the UK. And it's not just on the pitch where the women's game is becoming more noticeable. There are now former women's players working as presenters on TV and pundits on massive programmes such as Match of the Day. Women's football has changed from a sport that didn't get the recognition it deserved to one that sells out stadiums and is on the front page of all the national newspapers. When the England Lionesses beat Germany in the final of the UEFA Women's Euro 2022, their victory capped one of the most unforgettable summers in English football and one that will go down in sporting history. It was the first time since 1966, when the men's team won the World Cup, that England had won a major tournament. Nearly 90,000 people were cheering in the stands at Wembley, and millions were watching at home. I was lucky enough to be there, and I screamed when the final whistle blew because I knew that this was going to be a day that would change women's football in England forever. Watching that game inspired me to look back at the history of the Lionesses. I wanted to learn more about the early days of women's football and understand how the Lionesses had become the top squad they are today. I decided to write a book and share what I found out. Whether you're an old or new football fan, I want you to be inspired by the rise of the Lionesses and be as excited about the future of the women's game as I am. Women's football hasn't always been popular in England, and the Lionesses' success didn't happen overnight. Generations of women have overcome massive challenges so girls today can play the game they love. The success of the Lionesses goes all the way back to the tenacity of teams such as Dick Kerr Ladies and the Doncaster Belles, who played on despite a ban by the Football Association, FA, that lasted decades. While there is still a long way to go before women's and men's football are treated completely equally, attitudes are slowly changing. Captain of the 2022 Euros team, Leah Williamson, was immediately made an OBE, Officer of the Order of the British Empire, in recognition of her services to women's football, and 3 of her teammates, including Beth Mead, were made MBEs, Members of the Order of the British Empire.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?